Hey, fourth grade, we are here to finish up our essay for week 5 of DCPS distance learning. So make sure your outline is complete and you're ready to write your essay. Let's get started. Here is where we left off at the end of day 4, part 1 with our completed outline. Today I'm going to give you an exemplar of how we can take this one paragraph outline and convert it into a complete, organized, and descriptive one paragraph essay. So remember, as you write your essay, I encourage you to use all of the amazing strategies and vocabulary that you can bring to the table as a writer. Okay, let's get started. So today, as we write, we're going to focus on using change of direction transition words. So if you turn to your packet on page 14, you can see that these transition words grouped together all indicate a change in direction. So we have however, even though, in contrast, otherwise, on the other hand, although, but, yet, instead, and on the contrary. What we mean by change of direction is a transition word that helps us express contrasting or differing thoughts in our writing. So it helps our reader to understand that we're talking about a new idea because it signals to the reader that our direction, our point that we are making, is changing slightly. So here we can see an example of a change of direction word in action. Major events such as volcanoes erupting, earthquakes, and erosion may seem random. However, these changes are all part of a pattern. So our first point is talking about the randomness that it may seem with these different events, but our change in direction tells us that they actually all follow a pattern. They are not random. Today, we're going to be able to use these change of direction transition words because we're addressing several different ideas within one essay. Let's get started. Okay, so we are ready to write. Here we have our prompt, we have our outline here on the left, and as a reminder, we have our transition words bank. So those are all of those change of direction words that we can utilize in appropriate times as we write our essay. And here on this side, we're going to write our draft. You can see that there is space for you to write your draft on page 19 of your week 5 packet. So the first thing that we're going to write in our essay is our topic sentence, or our TS, which is already a complete sentence. When we were writing our outline, we made sure that this was a strong, complete, and interesting sentence already. What this means is we don't have to change any content. However, there are some slight differences in our formatting. Number 1, we lose the TS. That's just there for us as a reminder in our outline. And number 2, we indent before we write our TS. So that's this space right here. And that is a visual cue to our reader that we're about to write a paragraph. So it's important we do that so that our reader knows what to expect as they read these sentences together, that they form one cohesive paragraph. Awesome, we are ready to move on. So now, our first detail, I'm reminding myself, going back to my outline, that I'm talking about the formation of sedimentary rock. Are we changing direction here from our TS to talking about sedimentary rock? Are we introducing a new idea? Not exactly. We're really taking this idea of the creation of different types of rocks and getting more specific talking about sedimentary. So rather than a change of direction transition word, we'll use a different transition phrase. I chose for example because it shows that we're getting more specific. We're giving an example of one process by which rocks are created. Now, after this transition phrase, we need to convey our notes here about erosion and deposition creating sedimentary rock in a complete sentence. As a reminder, the symbols that we used, like this plus sign and this arrow, are not going to end up in our complete essay. We need to convert those ideas into linking words. One way we can do that is this sentence here. For example, sedimentary rocks are formed when pieces of other rocks erode or wear down and pile up in a process called deposition. So we took these ideas of erosion and deposition creating sedimentary rock, and wrote a strong and complete sentence for our reader. We are good to move on to detail 2. We know our second detail here is about the formation of igneous rock. So from detail 1 to detail 2, we are transitioning from talking about the formation of sedimentary rock to the transition of igneous rock. Is that a change in direction? Are we talking about something new? Yes, we are. We're transitioning our reader to learning about one type of rock to another. So we can use our word bank as a resource here. In my exemplar, I'm going to use the phrase in contrast. So you can see I wrote in contrast, and I used a comma afterwards because we always use a comma after our transition phrase. Now, we need to convey our notes that the hardening of magma creates igneous rock in a complete and interesting sentence. Here's one way we can do that. The hardening of magma, or melted rock, creates igneous rocks. That covers all of the material I gathered from my text, and it is a complete sentence with my transition word. We are ready to roll on to detail 3. So for this detail, we're talking about the formation of metamorphic rock. So we were talking about igneous. Now we're changing direction to discuss metamorphic rock, which means this is a perfect time to use our word bank. We are able to change direction to discuss our third rock type. For my example, I chose on the other hand as my transition phrase. So you can see I added it here and have my comma afterwards. Now, I need to take this idea that heat and pressure lead to metamorphic rock and write a complete sentence, substituting my symbols for linking words. Metamorphic rocks are formed through heat and pressure. I incorporated these main ideas and made sure to clarify which rock type it was, so we are good to go. Now, we're ready to move on to our conclusion sentence. We know that our conclusion sentence is already a strong sentence, so we can move that over without making any content changes. But we are making sure that we are copying every word from our CS, that all of it makes it into our final draft. And there we go. Here is our 1-paragraph essay. Are we finished? We are not. We know that good writers always use revision strategies to make our writing even stronger. Fortunately, on page 18 of our packet, we have a revision checklist here. So once you have your completed paragraph, you're going to work through your revision checklist to make sure that the development, organization, and language and conventions of your writing are as strong as you can make them. So remember, as a good writer, you're going to take that extra time to make your writing even stronger. And then it's your opportunity to publish your writing, to share your writing with others. Remember, the audience for this writing is non-experts. So is there anyone in your family or in your household that you can teach about the rock cycle? Be sure to share it with your teachers too. I would love to see your essay, and I know Mr. Freeman and Miss Johnston would as well. Great job today. I'm excited to read your essays, and have a wonderful and safe weekend, 4th grade.